Hello everyone. Today I want to do an update on my Manitoba maples. Today would be a great day before the leaves will start to dry up, turn brown and fall off over the next few weeks. My largest one here is doing quite well. It's developing quite the surface root. I had a little one start beside it this year. A year ago, it was roughly about this size here, maybe just a little bit bigger. Last year at this time, this was the green trunk here. This spring it never came back, and it developed a new trunk. So we'll see what happens next spring. As a result, it has developed a thicker trunk at the base. Right now both of these trees are planted in the ground or earth that I found them in. This one here I'd like to put in a larger pot, or at least about the same size. For the winter time, this one's in quite bad condition. It's very brittle. Next year I'm looking at repotting this tree into good bonsai soil, so I'll have to put it into a better pot, and same with him there. While I'm out here, I'd like to show you my forsythias. Right now I got them in nursery pots that my cedar trees came in. They have quite a unique trunk. Over this winter I'll be looking for a pot for this one in particular. The only problem with these is from year to year, you don't know how long the branches are going to survive. Some will last for a few years and then they die off and start new ones. But that's okay. It's got an interesting trunk, and I'd like to try to develop something off of that. Right now I have 3 of them, and originally they all came from that larger forsythia bush in the background there that you see. And here's some smaller ones. They all developed from the branches or the main leaders that come off of the main one. They touch the ground, they develop roots, and they grow into a new bush. And this is how these 3 all came about. Here's what I believe to be a sugar maple, starting out just beside my house. There's a slight chance it could be a silver maple, because there is one not too far from our house, but there is more mature sugar maples around the house and at the neighbors, so this is why I believe it is a sugar maple. But only time will tell. I'm going to leave it in here for the remainder of this year. Next spring I'm going to dig it up, and I'll likely put it out on the property somewhere else. so I can grow it out a little bit larger before I put it in a pot. I also want to give you guys a bit of an update on my future larch bonsai. And large at that. It was at a point probably about 3 weeks ago where it looked like it was gonna die off and not really come back. And after misting it at least twice a day this last, I'd say, about 3 to 4 weeks, it started to come back. So we have some good signs of growth. The only problem is we're at the end of the growing season, and I'm not too sure how this is going to work out. Got some new growth up here, especially on all the top branches. We got some newer growth happening. I think what happened was I took some summer vacation, and it didn't get the misting that it really needed. It did get some watering, I know, but the misting really does make a difference with these trees. Hopefully it'll come back in the spring. I also want to show you guys my lemon cypress cuttings. Believe it or not, this was the really small one that was only about maybe 2 inches high back in the early spring. It's now about 7 inches. It's just grown unbelievably well this year. Here's the larger one, which is about a foot high now, along with the one that was growing beside it. You'll remember that I had a stick that was separating the branches of the larger cutting from interfering with the smaller one. I just pulled the stick out the other day, as I could hardly even see the stick. And the third one, the second largest one, the pot is in very bad condition, but it is doing extremely well. I think after this point, I really will not be calling them cuttings anymore, but I guess small trees. They all got very woody trunks on them now. Tomorrow I will be repotting these into larger pots, but I will be just putting them in these larger pots without removing any soil from around the roots. I'll put them in the larger pots and put bonsai soil around the remaining space around the diameter between the soil and the pot that they're going into just for the winter. And because they've done so well this past summer out here, I think next spring I'll be repotting them and cutting them back, and we'll be sorting out the roots next spring, because they should come back extremely well for sure next spring. They really enjoyed their time underneath my peach tree. Well guys, that's all the updates for today. Have a great day.